Welcome everybody to the Mamurai Gaming Podcast, recorded on November 15th, 2014. My name is Pete.
My name is Mamurai.
Welcome everybody. The first order of business today is the fact that Ubisoft has decided to pull titles from Steam, and this in a supposed Uplay push.
My name is Mamurai.
What do you think about this, dude? Is this completely expected, or is it lame? It's not unlike what EA did at one point, but it seems a little more honest, if you ask me.
No, that's what I mean. It's I expect this to happen sooner or later, simply because they have their own program called Uplay instead of Steam. So I'm actually more surprised they haven't done it sooner rather than later. I have my own ideas why they're doing it now and why they didn't do it before, but I don't know if there's some things you want to go into before that.
No. I mean, I think it's clear why it would be now. One of the things that's a part of it for me is that when EA did this, they tried to come up with some sort of excuse for it. They said, "Oh no, it's because Valve is evil. They won't allow us to sell our own DLC in game with microtransactions or something like that." And that was sort of the reason for it. Whereas Ubisoft has come out and said, "Well, it's just because we want to sell them on our own platform." And you can say, could EA be right in that? Sure, they could. But if you ask me, it's probably got to do with wanting to push Origin back then. Where I feel Ubisoft is actually a little more honest with that, saying, "Well, hey, it's because we want people to come to our own platform."
Yeah, it's what I think. It's probably mainly that, and then the whole, I guess, what do you call it? The other side of that is at least something I've been thinking about. Is since obviously lately Ubisoft they haven't been that popular within the PC gaming community. Let's just say that at least. I think most people know about the whole Watchdog thing and some other things they've done, which we've already talked about before in the past. And also the fact that the recent PC reviews with Assassin's Creed and hasn't been that great at all, and there's been many optimization problems, and it's basically not running well at all. And since on Steam you can have user reviews, and that can affect sales too, I imagine. So that could be another reason why they're doing that. At least that's my own little theory why they would do it as well, other than microtransactions.
Yeah, well, I don't think Ubisoft has ever managed microtransactions in this. One of the reasons I see them doing this at this time, because if we look at what titles they're talking about pulling, some of them are actually fairly new, but they are on Steam at this point. That's interesting. Furthermore, I read an article that mentioned that it wasn't everywhere these things were going to get pulled, and only in some places. And one of the things I get from that is that Ubisoft have a couple of very big titles coming out, and that means that now is a good time to do it, because there are those people who will buy Assassin's Creed no matter what. Now, Assassin's Creed is on Steam right now. But it's supposedly one of these games that are going to be pulled. Furthermore, a game that isn't out yet is Far Cry 4, which is not which is rumored to be one of these games that will not show up on Steam. It will only be available through UPlay. So more than it sounds like a question of dodging the bullet of bad reviews for me. I feel like it's because November is traditionally one of the months where these big AAA titles come out, and Ubisoft feel they're in a good spot with that right now. So they have, they can do this. They have these titles that people will flood to no matter what, and that's why they can force people over on their own launcher. Which is sort of what EA did. They came out, they said, yeah, well, it's some of these popular games we have, and it was stuff like, it was BioWare games that have a lot of players. Mass Effect 3 was one of them. So I think it's a sort of a trick like that, where it's like, okay, we got some major titles coming out right now, let's use them.
Yeah, most likely. I think you're right. As you said, definitely November. It's just before the the Christmas sales, or pretty much it is the Christmas sales, because it's November and people want to buy their presents before December, preferably, or in December. So it's most likely because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff. Clearly, that stuff has to be launched before the holidays, because in the holidays it's already Christmas. So, but yeah. So I mean, that is what it is. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about having to go to another client? I mean, a lot of people have the policy that they buy their games on Steam. I used to be one of these people. I used to say, I buy my games on Steam, and I don't want to go anywhere else. I mean, I don't own Mass Effect 3, for example. I have played the first two games. If you go on my Steam account and you look at how much I've played Mass Effect 2, it's completely ridiculous. And I don't own Mass Effect 3. I had to go downtown and play it in a web cafe, because I don't want to have my games on Origin. And I can tell you that I don't want my games on Uplay. I use GOG for different reasons. But how do you feel about having to go to Uplay? I know you already own some of their games, so you already have some games on Uplay.
Admittedly, I have Steam Origin, and I also have Uplay, although I only have Uplay through Steam, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, but isn't that the same thing? I mean, a Steam game that requires Uplay, isn't that the same as a game on Uplay?
It's exactly the same thing. But okay. as you pretty much you almost said that also already, that it's pretty much anti-consumer, isn't it? Because if you choose, for example, to buy a game on Steam, you don't want it to suddenly open, hey, why isn't it opening another client now? Why do I have to deal with that? And I would just say, it's from a consumer standpoint, it's better to have more to have your games on more platforms than forcing them to play your games on one platform. Of course, you can say the company is in their full right to do so, but I don't think it's consumer friendly. At all.
I agree. I mean, one of the things for me that's so, the first time I have a friend who wanted to show me what this was. I don't own any Steam games that require Uplay. And I came to his house, and he showed me that he loaded up in Steam, launched the game, and it launched Uplay, not the game. And I was like,
exactly.
What the hell, man? And we spoke about that, and he said, well, it's silly, but it didn't bother him that much. Some other things came up later that then bothered him, because apparently Uplay deleted his save games. But the thing there is, that is what it is. If say you were to buy the game on Uplay and just have Uplay installed and then play it there, and then you have it on Steam, Steam launches Uplay, and then but you only shop with Valve. You know it. Then okay. Apparently, some people can live with that. I've said it before. Uplay is obviously just Ubisoft specific DRM. That's all it is. Just as Steam is a computer game store with inbuilt DRM.
Yeah.
And so it's like double DRM. But now obviously Ubisoft seem to think they can compete with Steam by doing a little trick like this.
Yeah, it's not good. I just actually because I was curious while you were also saying that, I just checked because the whole Watchdog thing where you can buy it on Steam,
Yeah.
and everything. I was just curious because when you open it, Watch Dogs in Steam,
Yeah.
it opens Uplay and goes from Uplay and then into the game. It doesn't
Okay.
actually mention at all in the Steam store that it requires Uplay or that it will go into Uplay at all.
Oh.
So that's another thing. You may think, okay, this is a Steam game. I don't have to deal with anything else. You buy it, and then you still have to go through Uplay.
Yeah.
Not a good thing at all because it doesn't say it anywhere at all.
No, and I mean, a lot of people say Uplay of these different pieces of launcher software. If we look at Steam, Origin, and Uplay, and so on, a lot of people said that Uplay is definitely the piece of software that is the most lightweight and that is the least intrusive when you have to deal with your game. But you know, launching it in Steam, and I know that some people don't think that's a problem, but it just sounds weird to me. You know that you basically launch a launcher with your launcher. So I heard you like launchers.
So we put a launcher in your launcher so you can launch while
When
you
you
play.
launch, exactly. So it's just what?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah, it's just stupid. I mean, as you said, maybe it's not a huge deal, but then again, why does it have to be like that? And why, and furthermore, why isn't the consumer informed that it will go through Uplay and you have to use this other launcher as well?
So I mean, you know, I understand why Ubi want to make this little thing because they want more money. They don't want to give money to Valve. That's probably, you know, that's
the basics of it. Yes.
Yeah. Which I understand. If you're a big, you know, if you're a big publisher like them, you make good games. At least you think you do, and so on. Then, you know, why would you? Why? I mean, because you're basically feeding the competition, aren't you? I mean, Valve is also a developer. Not that they develop a lot these days, but you know, on paper, technically someday we could see Team Fortress 3. And I mentioned Team Fortress 3 because I'm certain that game will be out before Half-Life 3 will.
Half-Life?
Yeah. But, so, you know.
Yeah.
So they are, you know, giving money to it. So I understand it. I just don't like it because I don't like to have a whole bunch of different, you know, shops that I have bought my games in. You know, I don't want to have Origin and Uplay and Steam and whatever loaded up at the same time. You know, just all of them stealing the tiniest bit of memory at the same time because, hey, you know what? Maybe I have this piece of software over here in Steam that I paid for that I'm running constantly, and then I have a game on this and so on. So, you know, I understand it, but I don't condone it. Not that it's a problem for me because I don't play a lot of Ubisoft games anyway.
No. But yeah, but it's pretty much like with everything. I mean, you want as few programs open as possible, and it's just annoying. If you can avoid it, then you want it.
Yeah, and remember back in the days when people used to play the original Counter-Strike, and they would just have these shaven down rigs. They would have basically clean installations of Windows 98 with nothing but you know, Counter-Strike, and then maybe some sort of monitor tweaking software. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Some of the advanced guys would have Game Voice installed, but you know, you basically shaved everything down. You know, I know a lot of guys. They do a perfectly clean Windows 98 installation. Then they'd get the driver for their GeForce 2, and then Counter-Strike, and that would be all. Nothing else would be on that machine. And
That's
they would,
awesome.
and if they had to check something on the internet, if they had been an explorer and seen something on the internet, they would reboot. Because well, Explorer,
Everything would count.
exactly. It's like the tiny. So and this is, I know we have some very nice big machines these days. I mean, you know, what is 8 gigs of RAM cost these days? Nothing. So you know, but still, you know.
Yeah, and saying that, you can also say, well, why wouldn't the publisher want to have their games out on as many platforms as possible? Why choose the most? I mean, Steam is the most popular digital gaming platform.
Yeah.
You can call it that, for sales, and if you buy digital copies of games. So why pull it from that platform? That also seems a bit silly.
Yeah, but I'm certain the sort of philosophy with Ubisoft has to be that every time they sell a game on Steam, they give, and what is it? There's like a 20% purse or something that you know that Steam nicks every time. So you know they are basically paying the competition.
Valve, yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I think that has got to be it.
Yeah. So of course, if they can avoid that, then it gives them more profit in the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, from another perspective, I think it's okay that Steam gets some competition. That's fine.
That's true. Yeah. It would be also bad if Steam was the only platform for online game sales out there.
Yeah.
The more, the better.
Right.
But I still think the consumer should be able to choose which one they want to use.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, moving on.
Yeah.
About a week ago, something differenty was going on.
Oh yeah.
Particularly BlizzCon, which is awesome news that we're about a week late with. But,
So yeah, most have probably seen the news already. But I was actually, well, not,
yeah, you had one of them. You had one of them funny tickets, so you could get a card back.
Yeah. I actually watched the live stream and so on.
Okay, well, pray tell, good sir, what happened at BlizzCon?
Well, obviously, they talked about news of World of Warcraft, about the new expansion, Warlords of Draenor, and so on. Most of that we've already heard before, so I wouldn't say there was anything really new. It was just about the whole garrison thing, and well, people know about those things already, so I don't know how much I should go into that. It seemed it was mostly like a recap of what they're going to put in the game.
Okay.
So not really anything new there as such, because you could have read about that beforehand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they released for the first time in 17 years a new game, the whole new gaming universe called Overwatch.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that was probably the biggest news they had, wasn't it? I mean,
it was the biggest news. Yeah. The other things were obviously some Hearthstone stuff they announced. I'll get into that later.
Yep.
And they also talked a bit more about their StarCraft 2 expansion, which is the third and final one as well.
Yep.
But yes, Overwatch, which was definitely the biggest one there. Some people said, "Oh, it's a huge surprise," although it had just been leaked, I believe, the week before, that they have just gotten the trademark for Overwatch and a trademark for Eye of Ashera. So that's probably something to do with World of Warcraft. But
yeah,
I guess we'll see that later.
It would be.
Yeah.
Unless it's Warcraft 4. Woo!
Ooh, never know.
I think we do know. I think World of Warcraft has to die before they can do anything more Warcrafty.
They are going to milk World of Warcraft until they can't make it anymore. And
I believe so. Yes.
So, but yeah, if you get into Overwatch, Overwatch comes from they had this MMO they wanted to get out called Titanfall, but they had many things in it that they wanted to get out, and in the end,
It probably wasn't called Titanfall.
sorry, not Titanfall, just Titan.
Oh, okay.
Titan. Don't confuse that with the two. But yeah, as you know, Titan was cancelled. But from that, at least that's what they said at BlizzCon, they used some elements from that
Yeah.
and made Overwatch. It almost sounds like they used like, oh, our game didn't really work, but we're going to make this game put together from Frankenstein parts.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Some of the guys made some artwork, so we're just gonna use that.
Yeah, I don't know. It almost sounded like that when they talked about it. And what the game is that you have two teams, and both teams have different heroes. Sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, and these and basically what you do is you have different game modes on a map, and you see it in a first person perspective. And there's like classes like tank classes, there's DPS, and also support classes, and some of them overlap each other as well. And then there's different game modes where you, for example, can escort this thing through the map, and then one is attacker, and then the other is defender.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people said that some of the play modes were reminiscent of Team Fortress. I saw, for example, the payload play mode where you have to drag a little cart along on some tracks. I mean, that's pure Team Fortress, isn't it?
That is exactly what I was talking about. So there's that. That's what is many people have said. Oh, it's pretty much just like a Team Fortress 2 clone. And yeah, it definitely has many ideas with that it has like these two teams with these different distinct heroes or classes, as you could call them, and which then fight each other on this arena kind of map.
Yeah, but one major difference I immediately noticed was the sheer amount of so-called heroes you can choose between was pretty high. Where Team Fortress has, well, it's got the healer guy and the fast guy and the shooty guy and the other shooty guy. Like,
there are actually 12 heroes you can choose from, and all of them
on both sides or in total.
No, in total.
Oh, okay.
So both sides can actually have the same hero, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
There's a hero called Tracer, and the Tracer can be on both defender and attacker. So,
well, that's interesting, because one of the things I had heard described was that it was like the good guys against the bad guys, and that the two teams were different.
Okay. Well, that's not the way I got it, at least, but it could be I either heard wrong or they have said something else since then. Because the way I heard it at BlizzCon was at least that you could have multiple what do you say, like multiple tracers, the same hero. Although now I'm uncertain. But now I'm actually uncertain. Yeah, I
was certain that was on the same team. Like, you
like that. Yeah,
you start out as Tracer and then you die, and then you or someone else can choose Tracer or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually not certain about that. You could be right. But what I do know is that you can certainly, at least on the same team, have multiple of the same heroes.
Yeah.
So that's for certain. The other thing I'm not certain about. You could be right about that one.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean.
Anyway, but yeah, they certainly have all of them have the distinctive powers. And all of them interact with the surroundings in different ways. Some can have like this grapple hook. They call them Widowmaker. She's like a sniper, so you can use this grapple hook to get high up in places. And there's Hanzo, who's like this, I guess, samurai archer type, who can like run up walls and grab onto things.
Yeah.
and so some of them can fly around a bit also, and some have this ability that, or for like a certain period of time, he is like invincible and so on. So all of them have different things, and they all also have like hero abilities. If you ever played Smite, for
Yeah.
example, you would know that every hero or god, as there are in that game, they have their own abilities, and they have like these super abilities they can use every once in a while, and it's the same thing in Overwatch. So
Okay.
it seems as if they have taken like elements, for example, from Team Fortress, League of Legends, or Smite, and just put that together in one game.
Yeah.
That's at least what I got from it.
Yeah.
And it seems interesting enough. At least in that regard, that's all the heroes are so different, and the abilities seem interesting.
Yeah.
One of my, I would say when I watched it with on the live stream, I don't know if we can get into that. Some of the commentators were a bit too, let's say, overeager about how amazing this game this game was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
almost as if it was the best thing ever since, I don't know.
Yeah,
Since
I remember you complaining about that, but you gotta remember it's their job, and it's just sometimes, it's like depending on where you're from. It's the same in this country. Like if you meet someone from Copenhagen, they'll be a little more inclined to exaggerate a little bit about how awesome things are. But if you meet someone from the west part of Jutland, then they'll be all like, "Yeah, it wasn't so bad."
yeah, I suppose so. I guess at one point it was just, yeah, okay, it's okay, you're excited about it, and then they took it like to the next level. That, oh my god, I'm peeing in my pants over this game. but yeah, I will say it looks interesting, and you can also go on I believe on Overwatch the website and look more into the different heroes and what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely the biggest news, that in 17 years, it's like their first new gaming world, I suppose. And there were also
I'll say one thing about Overwatch.
Yeah.
The first thing you told me about it was that there's this robot thing, and he's got a big Gatling gun, and he loves nature and stuff. And and I just thought, wow, okay, battle chasers much?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, oh yeah. So you have you guys? Is this a little nod to Calibretto? Because I'm just saying, big fucking war robot with Gatling guns feeding birds. Yeah. I'm sorry. Well,
that's what he does, though.
it seems Blizzard hasn't swayed so much from their IP stealing ways.
No, definitely. Well, I'm not kind of surprised. But then some people say, well, everyone steals a bit of IP from everyone. So
Yeah, but it's, Blizzard is just shameless with it. Even the word Overwatch. It's like, what's their big fucking dragon thing called? Deathwing. Yeah, what is that? Well, it just so happens to have something to do with Space Marines. Quite a bit to do with Space Marines. All right. Even the word Overwatch in their new IP here. Where do we know that from? Well, it's a stance in Space Hulk. It's like Blizzard can't keep themselves from stealing awesome shit from other places. And, it's all right. It's fine. Sure. This kind of thing goes all the way back to like classical musicians, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So it's, it is what it is. I just think Blizz are sometimes a little too sort of blatant and shameless in their stealing stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Especially some of the characters, what they look like, and the artworks. Like this is the Widowmaker. It's like you could take her out from any anime and put her in the game.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen her, but
Yeah, but if you see her, you know what I'm talking about. So there's that. I don't know how much else I can say about it. You can still, at the moment, you can sign up for the beta. It's a closed beta as well, so you have to get lucky in order to get into it.
Oh.
So yeah, it seems to be a new take on Team Fortress. I remember I thought to myself when I watched it, oh, it seems like Team Fortress 2 on like crack or something because
On
so
crack? On
I don't
crack?
know how to explain it, man.
It's alright, Team Fortress on steroids or something. I don't know about crack. I don't think.
Well, steroids, whatever. Some sort of drug that makes everything more insane.
Yeah,
That's what it looked
okay.
like to me.
Alright. Team Fortress on psychedelics. Something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's certainly also something they mentioned at BlizzCon. They wanted a really colorful world, well, yeah, basically a lot of colors and so on. And
Yeah, but
from what
that's very much something we've known Blizzard to do.
yeah, so I was not surprised
the
about
look
that.
and art styles of Warcraft and Starcraft, respectively, they're also very eye-catching, with very stylized looks. So that's what we've come to expect from Blizzard, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that is what that thing is. And you can check more about it on the website. And of course, it is also, I believe I mentioned that before, but just to make certain, it is a first person shooter game. And
Okay.
they also mentioned that, that's basically they wanted also people who are maybe not that good at first person shooters to be able to enjoy this game. So you can actually have a supporting role and support your team if you're not that good at, like, I guess, shooting people. You can still be good
You still
at
be
support.
the healer.
Yeah,
Just don't stand in the fire, healers.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Get away. um, yeah. So again, they try to appeal to the masses that even though you're not that good at it, you can still play it pretty much, I suppose. So yeah, I guess that's what I had to say about Overwatch.
All right.
Then there was Hearthstone, but they also released some news, to say the least. That next month they will release a new expansion. I was a bit surprised by that myself, since they have just recently, but they had released Next Premise, the Next Premise expansion, and they had also stated that they wouldn't want to release too much at one go, and here we are with our next expansion soon.
Yeah.
The expansion is called Goblins versus Gnomes. Or Gnomes versus Goblins. I can't remember which way, but you know what I mean.
That's sort of an old repeating theme, isn't it?
Yeah. And they haven't released like the entire card list yet from the expansion, but from what I can see is that it's gonna be a lot of cards that does a lot of random effects on it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember Goblin Engineering from World of Warcraft, but
yeah, it's totally it is true to the heart of those things that things happen at random, especially with the goblins that do random stuff to your own or your enemy. That's basically what those cards are about. Then they're also putting in instead of, well, there's like not instead of, but they are, you can have beast decks and murloc decks and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now they're going to have this thing called mechs.
Yeah, the next big themed deck is apparently the mech deck, which also goes fine with the engineering theme that goblins and gnomes have traditionally had in the universe.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, there actually already are some mech cards in the game. Well, they're not called mech cards yet, but they will be. Yeah. There's a Harvest Golem and a Llama Bot. So those cards will become mech decks instead of nothing.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, I see them doing this. I see them doing this more in the future, where other cards will also have some sort of, denomination at the bottom of them, like undead. And here we see mech is clearly some sort of mechanical creature. We know these categories well from something like Magic: The Gathering, for example. So it's not so.
Yeah, I expect they will, as you said, make more decks and expansions out of that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you and I basically came up with the best expansion. I'm very disappointed we
I
didn't
am
get
too. I had really hoped for this whole troll expansion. What did you call it?
the Green Hills of Stranglethorn,
Yes,
trolls and pirates. That's what I
that's
wanted.
right. Yeah, maybe next time, hopefully.
Yeah, well, can't
So
win them all.
so that's what they announced about that.
Do you wanna talk about some of the cards we've seen?
Uh,
I saw
like what?
I saw an image uh, that was basically a list of a lot of mechs.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I accidentally threw that list away. But anyway, yeah, I remember some of it.
I'll send it you.
Thank you.
Oh no, I threw it away as well. No, I didn't. Okay. I had it. I found it.
You found it.
I found it in my word. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this list with as expected, gnomes, goblins, and mechs. I don't know if you want to sort of you've I think you've looked at it more closely than me. I don't know if you want to mention any either of these that look particularly fun.
There was one
I
of
say
them.
you can build Mimeron. I saw.
Memoron, or you could build that big bot. What's it called? I can't remember it in my head. Y2 whatever. Basically, you had
Voltron.
yeah Voltron, I think he was called. Yeah, that's true. And you could build him apparently from Myrmidon's what is called again. I'm bad at those
You
names,
need
man.
Mimeron's head, man. Don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
He was a boss in what was that place called? Oh, Alduar. Is that what it was called?
No, yeah, maybe. I can't remember. But in the world of in the world of Warcraft,
The dungeon
right?
where Blizzard had basically stolen both Norse mythology and
Yeah.
the H.P. Lovecraft universe.
It's from Wrath of the Lich King, at least.
Exactly.
That much I remember.
All right.
And I was there as well, but I can't remember the name of the raid. But in any case, it's from there where in Hearthstone, the card, if you play it and you already have 3 mechs on the board and you play the card, you summon Voltron. And
Yeah, that's Mimeron's
Voltron
head.
has 4 attack and 8 health. When you summon him, and he has like this, what is it called, Mega Whirlwind or something?
It's a 4/8 charge with Mega Wind Fury. So
Mega Wind Fury, yeah.
So you can attack 4 times in a row. It's the most ridiculous thing.
It's in that sense, I think it's really overpowered. But then again, yeah, of course you need to have 3 mechs down, and then you need to throw down the head, and
yeah.
So on
I
and so
see
forth.
that head getting a nerf though, because basically, there are some things that I mean, it is at the start of your turn, so your opponent can do whatever they have in their power to stop you. But basically, if they don't have a big board clear and you spam down a lot of 2-cost things,
that's gonna be a problem.
I
But
see.
then again,
I see. What's that rogue spell called? I see conceal on Mimeron's head, and then mech spam. I see
That's
that being the
immediately
new Leroy.
yeah, immediately what I thought. So okay, well there you have your new Leroy.
Yeah.
And it's even more powerful than that, and it only costs Leroy costs what does he cost now? 6?
No, it costs 5 now, doesn't he?
5? Yeah, okay, so this costs 3
So
more.
he's 5 and 3 and 3, so you can't cast him 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Boy. Yeah, it's it's definitely not not a good thing in my opinion, but let's see how it plays out. Hopefully they will nerf it so it just doesn't become like the whole Miracle Rogue decks again. It's
anything else from BlizzCon? Do you want to recap StarCraft 2 real fast?
StarCraft 2.
Because then I'll be right back.
Okay,
All right,
sure.
go on.
Yeah. Well, in StarCraft 2, it's going to be the final expansion there. That will apparently it will put everything together. And wrap out the current story. They're gonna bring some units back. For the Zergs. Basically, that unit. Now I forgot his name, but the unit that crawls, digs itself down and hides. What do they call lurkers? And then comes up and kills the enemies who are close to it.
Go on.
Other than that, I don't think there was that much news other than what they told about that. It was a bit like what is it, the whole World of Warcraft thing. People already knew most of the stuff, so they're just making a recap of it.
Okay.
And they were just talking, oh, people are unhappy that this lurker is coming back again. Some are unhappy that, oh, it's back in the game. Now the Zergs can just have it dug down and be somewhere and be lame about it. But it's coming back apparently. I'm not that was that. I'm not a huge StarCraft 2 player myself, I have to admit. I
know a lot of people who never played RTS in multiplayer, who think storyline in StarCraft 2 is just the cat's pajamas.
Yeah. They are, and also in Overwatch, they really made a big deal about the whole story behind it, that it actually takes place on Earth in the near future, but I guess in an alternate universe, because one of the mobs,
in 2000 Titan.
Yeah, exactly. But they made a whole big deal about the story. I guess it was because they have made a big deal of the story in the game Titan, so they just transfer it.
Did you hear any? Did they have any Q&A at all in any of these sessions you watched when you watched that?
There was
with the audience.
Yeah, there was some Q&A. Actually, one of them I want to touch upon was Overwatch. It was a bit funny. When someone asked about Overwatch, what are the requirements going to be?
Will it require a GeForce Titan to run?
Yeah, I didn't say that, but but anyway, they said we don't kind of know yet because they haven't really optimized it, but it's not it's not gonna be too badass, or the way how did they word it, something like that.
No, they'll want everybody to be able to run it, won't they?
Of course they do.
Unlike Ubisoft.
Unlike Ubisoft, exactly.
I don't know. Is that
if
the
you're a PC
time?
gamer, then you're not allowed to run our games, pretty much. That's
No.
what
No, that's not what they said. What they said is, if you're anyone, then you're not allowed to run our game.
Oh boy.
No, but anything else from BlizzCon though?
No, I mean the Q&A I have already touched upon because they've already answered those questions, like about the different classes, for example, for Overwatch, so on and so forth. And they don't know exactly when it's going to be released yet, because Blizzard is like, it's going to be released when it's done.
Yeah.
Usual answer. Other than that, no, not much new. There was also, of course, they touched also about they touched upon the, what is it called, the World of Warcraft movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how gaming related it is. I suppose it is, but
it's entirely gaming related.
Yeah, it's coming out in 2016, so there's still quite some time for it.
Yeah. I heard some people say very nice things about that trailer.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer or anything yet. They only talked about it. On it, I have to say what I heard sounded incredibly nice, but you can never know until the movie is out.
No.
It seems like that because the funny thing is that the director and also the actors, they are like World of Warcraft players and they like the Warcraft universe.
Yeah.
So all of them have like this, that they know what it is and they want it to be right. So
Yeah.
I guess that's also why in the first they had another director before this one who I can't remember the name of, but anyway,
It was the first one was Sam Raimi, is that it? And then
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, and he's not the guy any longer. Now they have a new guy who fits the bill better with his own nerd stuffs.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll just quickly check. Duncan Jones. Yeah,
Okay.
Duncan Jones is directing it.
Dunkin' Donuts is directing it.
Yeah. Did you know? No, but he has made like movies like Source Code, not made them, but directed movies like Source Code and what else? I think that movie. There was also another one that was quite famous. He directed like called Moon and so on. That was quite.
Has he directed anything I've heard of?
I don't know. I can list them for you if you want. There's Moon. There's Source Code. There's a movie called Coup.
I think probably.
And there's also a movie called Whistle.
Clean as a whistle. I think it's fine, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's directing it, and yeah, they talked about it, and basically they wanted to the movie to have a look on both Horde and Alliance side from the first Warcraft game.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily, well, I guess it has a bit to do with World of Warcraft, but the first game of Warcraft, where apparently the first director only focused on the Alliance and wanted the Horde to be evil, where this is like more of a, not that black and white.
Okay.
That's what I got from
yeah,
that.
Well, that sounds nice.
So yeah, it sounded quite alright.
Anything else from BlizzCon I should know about?
No, I mean the headlines there. I would say definitely Overwatch and Hearthstone, because Hearthstone has become so incredibly popular in such a short amount of time. I think it's even like amazed people in Blizzard just how popular it has come in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So Hearthstone and
funny.
And Overwatch, yeah.
With the Overwatchamables.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next thing on the on the menu is what we were just about to segue into. When we mentioned that Blizzard obviously wants Overwatch to be able to run by as many people as possible.
Yep.
Is that apparently Assassin's Creed Unity doesn't run very well at all for anyone. And that not only that, but rather than having a review embargo that ended before the release of the game, or even with the release of the game, apparently Assassin's Creed Unity had a review embargo that was lifted 12 hours post-release.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Obviously, for anyone who's bought the game and
how can that be consumer friendly?
Oh well. I mean, if, you know, well, yeah, I think you had to be very creative to come up with some way that's consumer friendliness. but yeah, clearly this is seen by a lot of people who have the recommended specs for the game. If you're a PC gamer and you have the hardware that meets the recommended specs for the game, and your game still runs significantly below 60 frames, and at times below 30, then I think you would be very, very disappointed to learn about this review embargo that just ended so late. So that's interesting. But more than it is interesting, it's probably sad.
Yeah, it's it's not good for for the consumers at all, and also it also must put the reviewers in like in a really difficult position as well. I mean,
No, I don't. I don't think it should put them in a difficult situation. I think someone like Total Biscuit nailed it completely and said, "Yeah, well, if a review embargo is in the future is after the game's release, okay, it's fine. I won't do it."
yeah, okay,
You could hear that John Bain was angry.
yeah,
That was more than anything. It was like, yeah, well, you know what? Dad is not disappointed anymore. Now Dad is furious, which is understandable. One thing, uh, a review embargo can be fine. It allows people to get all their reviews out at the same time, so the little guys don't get trampled by the big guys. It is what it is. They stick them up at the same time, so they're up at the same time. That's fine. Because to be the first one who gets your review out can really give you an advantage. So it's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. A review embargo, cool. But a review embargo that ends with the release of the game, or even like here after the release of the game, is problematic to say the least. And if you ask me, no one should want to review this game. Sure, I mean, do it if it means hits and clicks and whatever. That's fine. But a review embargo like this is disgusting in my opinion.
I agree.
Especially when the game runs so bad and consumers really needed to know about these things, which brings us to why would they do something like that? And it's just too easy to jump to conclusions here. It's just too easy to conclude, well, they went ahead and did that because they didn't want people to know about how terrible it was.
It always seems they do that kind of embargo when the game is just running shit.
No, well, there's always a review embargo on pretty much every game, but the ones where the review embargo is lifted after release,
that's what I mean.
What was the last game we can remember that did that? I think it was Colonial Marines.
Yep. And we know how that game was.
Genau, mate. So that's the problem as I see it. Also, obviously, the problem is that another problem is, like I said, people who have the recommended specs can't run it at 60 frames. Most of the time, supposedly, they're sogging around at 40.
Was it someone who said you couldn't even run Assassin's Creed, the new game, Unity, with 980s in triple sly or something? Something crazy.
That was also TB who said that he had a buddy that had they were 980s. I think they were triple 780 Ti's, and that that guy couldn't run it at a smooth 60 in a resolution of 2560 by what's that, 1440.
That's just insane.
That is insane, because obviously that's not 4K. I mean, that's a lot of pixels. That is a lot of pixels. But still, looking at how much horsepower he has there in them three cards, and remember that the 780 Ti has a bigger bus for the memory on those cards. So
Yeah.
so everybody knows that a 980 can't do 4K. That's everybody knows that, and that's fine, because it has a shitty memory bus. But it's ever so slightly larger on the 780s, and they should be able to play up a screen that's 2560, but not in Assassin's Creed. And obviously that's what then just goes to show, well, okay, they didn't want people to know about this, and also proves why they were out with those. Yeah, well, a game like this doesn't look good at 60 frames. It has to be at 30, so it's more like watching a movie. What?
But it isn't a movie, it's a game. You can't compare like those two things at all.
I know, but what they were clearly trying to do was to pull an Apple and tell the consumers what they want. Instead of letting the consumers have what they want, they tried to, yeah, exactly. They tried to just convince everybody 30 is better for something like this. And, well, it's not.
Nope. Not in a million years.
I mean, depending on what kind of game you're playing, a smooth 30 is better than fluctuating wildly between 20 and 60. But
yeah.
But a smooth 60 will always be better than a smooth 30. And, even over 60, go as high as you want. What's the highest frequency monitors? You got like 144 hertz monitors.
Yeah, 144, yeah.
Like a smooth 144 frames. Oh my goodness. Not a lot of games you can do that in that are contemporary, but it looks good.
But you know what could solve one of those that problem is just not no pre-orders, because if they should be punished in that way, in that shit, that people don't pre-order games because we don't trust you any longer. So why should we pre-order when you do embargoes like that, review embargoes that are released like one day after the game is out?
This is something that also speaks to why we see as many examples of day one DLC and shit. If you don't pre-order, you don't get the whole game. So we'll have some day one DLC. And yeah, I agree. When people pre-order stuff to get, you'll get this hat. Well, when people pre-order to get that hat or get that extra quest or whatever,
well, it isn't just a hat.
They empower the developers. And even more than the developers, perhaps the parent companies and so on, to fuck them in this way, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah, but it really gets to me in that sense. That's like, you already have this content already, so why didn't you just release it? Okay, because we wanted more money and we hate you.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that you can't, that day one DLC can't be a thing. Day one DLC can be a thing, and it's fine when it's fine. The problem is that it's basically never fine.
Yeah, exactly. But there's also a difference if a day one DLC, okay, you can have this hat, or if the DLC is, oh my god, if you pre-order, then you get like this 3 hours more of gameplay, and you get this sword or whatever extra.
Definitely.
That's a problem.
I know. And this is something that's very relevant for me, because I just saw Pillars of Eternity show up on Steam. It is now available for pre-order, and that's a game that I'm pretty excited for. I have a good buddy who is in the beta, and it looks good.
Okay.
And I really want to play that game, and I can see, which I have to admit I'm a little disappointed with Obsidian, that there are pre-order bonuses.
Yeah.
You can't see what they are yet, but there's a little thing with, there will be pre-order bonuses on the Steam page. So that's a game where I really have to tell myself, don't pre-order, Pete, don't do it. And that's what it is. I mean, I say that, but all it does is bring me to my next point. which is don't crowdfund either. Because as
Yeah,
much
exactly.
as much as I'm saying, don't pre-order, Pete, I don't need to pre-order because I backed that game on Kickstarter, and
Yeah.
I regret that. Um, to me, this was a thing where I just wanted to see this game realized so much.
Yeah, but that's also different from, I think, helping like a.
I know. It pre-ordering and backing something on Kickstarter are two different things, no doubt about that. But there are two things about the backing something on Kickstarter, crowdfunding something. One thing is, this is Obsidian. Of course, it succeeded. It's Obsidian Entertainment. Of course it would succeed. So I didn't need to do it. Second of all, don't give people your money in this manner because maybe they'll just run away with them. A company like Double Fine have been accused of basically half-assing a game, and Double Fine is a very well-respected developer. A lot of people like Psychonauts. I think it's a piece of shit, but a lot of people love that game. So everybody's like, Double Fine, and so this just goes to show that even though you're a big developer and so on, or big, but you know what I mean. A respected, established developer, you may still sort of screw it up or throw it away or whatever.
Yeah.
So guys, don't pre-order, don't crowdfund, just pour cold water in your pants and wait for the game to come out.
And wait for the reviews first, pretty much, to see if the game is any good or not.
Yeah, and maybe not even the established reviews. I don't care about gaming websites and gaming magazines and shit like that. Wait for people to get their hands on it on YouTube. Go have a look at it and say what the players say. And always look at a couple of reviews. Never trust one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is also what I'd say about Assassin's Creed Unity. A game that has a review embargo that's released after or lifted after release, just don't do it.
Yeah, and especially the part about looking at multiple reviews and also reviews, as many reviews if you can, pretty much, of the game, because reviews can be colored.
Oh yeah, definitely. There will be those guys out there who are basically shills who took money to say good things.
Yeah.
I would hope that would be the fewest of them, but that is definitely a discussion that's ongoing.
Yeah, you never know in the end.
All right. Well, you want to move on to like the little mini quick news?
Yeah.
Do you have anything for that?
Yeah, I actually have something regarding DLC now that you were talking about it. About day one DLC and DLC costing money and so on. In that regard, it's interesting that the Witcher 3 developers, CD Red, they're going in the opposite direction and offering free DLC. All of their DLC will be free. And there's going to be 16 DLC releases, apparently, and they'll not cost any money for the consumer.
All right. And this is for The Witcher 3?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's really cool.
Because apparently, at least it's been said that they're against the whole, what we just talked about. Day one DLC you have to pay for and so on.
Yeah.
They want to reward their customers for buying their game, and then they're going to release DLC as time passes for free.
Well, they're also the guys running GOG, aren't they?
So, are they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. If I understand it correctly, CD Projekt are the guys who run GOG. So, in related Witcher news, the GOG sale is on, and
Oh yeah, there were some free games there, wasn't there?
you can get The Witcher 2 if you come back for a week. Every day for a week, you come back and press a button. You can get The Witcher 2 for nothing.
That's really crazy.
Really
Especially
nice.
since that game isn't that old. I mean,
No, it's not.
it's a-
Listen, dude. I haven't played it yet. I know you've played it a lot, but I haven't played it yet. I'm still playing the first game, man. So
Get to work.
I know. I'm so sorry and also ashamed.
Yeah, and we also hope to in the near future, hopefully, that we'll have like I don't know. Is it a surprise announcement? I don't know. It's just some
No.
interview.
It's not a surprise announcement. We've that we may get a developer interview for The Witcher 3, which would be super nice to stick our heads into and hear about that.
We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. But you know, hopefully they'll want to talk.
Yeah. So I believe that's it. But
Anything else for quick news?
Oh no.
All right. Well, in that case, the PlanetSide 2 anniversary is on. PlanetSide 2 has now been out for 2 years, and there is an anniversary. Anniversary? I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna get in my Spose ship and fly to the anniversary. No, the anniversary of PlanetSide 2, the 2-year anniversary of that game is going on, and there is a bundle with funny clothes for your characters, and you can finally get a horn for your tank, and stuff like that. There are some guns that are spruced up with nice paint. So that's it. That's something, and it looks like a nice bundle, because if you don't have those two guns already, they go into the sort of specialty category of guns where it can be a little hard to get guns. So that's nice. Second, there's a 6-month heroic boost in it, and that in itself is quite expensive in the shop. And then obviously they're the sort of cosmetic upgrades. So it looks like a good bundle. So anyone who plays or have played PlanetSide 2 and enjoy that game, go check out that little anniversary bundle.
Yeah. I actually do also have 3 more things. Just quick news I want to mention about.
Go on.
Yeah. Tales from the Borderlands. It's going to be released sometime this month as well.
It's like Borderlands, but you have to kill Sonic characters.
It's from Telltale Games, who have made the Walking Dead series, and also the Wolf Among Us. So it's gonna be this adventure type game where you have different choices you can make throughout the game, and it will affect everything.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing with Game of Thrones as well. Yep.
All right.
And that will apparently involve the War of the Five Kings, which I'm not certain what is.
I don't.
And then
I don't
no.
I just watch when TV tells me to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Same. And then Just Cause 3 has also been revealed.
Just Cause.
Yeah, Just Cause 3 has been revealed, and apparently it's going to be in like this Mediterranean world. And yeah, I really enjoyed Just Cause 2. It's
Really?
yeah, it
I
was
thought that's
insane.
like all console weird.
It's like a Grand Theft Auto-ish game, except you're like this action hero guy.
All right.
So yeah, it's was a bit over the top, but the game doesn't hide that fact, and for that I liked it.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, a lot of people liked Saints Row for being completely insane.
That was a bit. I haven't tried it. It just looks too insane, even for me.
That's completely crazy.
So yeah, that's also coming out sometime for PC in 2015
Yeah. Anything
and
else?
consoles. No,
Then I
no. I
have
think.
some tragic hardware related news.
Oh no.
The
Oh.
Logitech G400S
Yeah.
that replaced the G400, that replaced the MX518,
Yeah.
has been replaced.
Oh my.
And
By what?
And that particular by the G402, which looks like a completely different mouse. Meaning that shape, a lot of people really like the shape of the MX 518 or 510 or whatever. And a lot of people really like both the shape and the sensor. To a lot of people, the G400 was just the hallelujah end all be all mouse. And it was replaced by the G400S, which was ugly as sin, but did the same thing, and that is now gone. So that's tragic.
Sad.
I can't see it on their website anymore.
Hmm.
No.
Nope. Well, I think that concludes.
Is that it?
That's it, I believe.
Oh, all right. Well, there's last chance to come up with something, dude.
I have nothing.
Awesome. No, but that's good. That's good. That means we've emptied our.
I also think this episode was a bit longer than expected anyway.
Oh, it's an hour and 15. That's not bad.
Oh, okay. I thought it felt like 1 hour and 30.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I that boring to you?
Yeah.
Right.
You just talk and talk all the time. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to say thanks to you, dude.
Well, you too.
Once more doing this with me. I enjoy having these chats.
Yeah, me too.
And I wanna say thanks to anyone who watched on
Twitch. No one did.
Which I can tell you is no one. But it's fine, dude. Build it and they will come. And finally, I want to say thanks to anyone who has been streaming this on YouTube. And I hope you enjoyed.
Me too. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.